Hey my Squidlings, it's Katie here, and welcome back to another review and demo video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PanPastels. I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I reached out to the Colorfin company, which is the company over PanPastel, and they generously sent me these things to show you guys and review. Super duper nice of them. This has been a long time in the making. I actually should have done this sooner, but I just wasn't able to. But now I'm bringing it to you, so I'm really excited about that. So let's just kind of talk about everything that is on the screen right now. So first off, we've got a Pastel brochure. It is a catalog and it has some art techniques. So basically it gives you techniques, and it also shows the things that they actually sell, from the soft tools to the actual colors. So next up, we've actually got the PanPastels themselves, and the cool thing about these is you can actually screw them together and they just kind of make this really convenient like stack, and I think it's convenient. So we've got a slew of colors. 4 of them were sent to me by the PanPastel company, and I actually have 2 colors that I got in a creative art box, but I thought I'd throw those in there. So first off, we've actually got a red. This is permanent red, and it says 0.5 after the 340, so that means it is a pure pigment. There's nothing mixed in this. Next up, we've got a really pretty yellow color, and it is Hansa Yellow, and this is also a pure color. Next up, we've got a really gorgeous blue, and it's Ultramarine Blue, which is also a pure pigment. This one is kind of like a skin tone color. It's basically my skin tone, and it is called Burnt Sienna Tint. The fact that it says tint and the fact that it says 0.8 after the 740 means that it is burnt sienna mixed with white. All the tints are mixed with white. Now this one's a little ugly, and that is because whenever I got it, it was actually broken. But there is a way you can fix these. I will leave the video in the description, so check it out. So if ever you get a broken PanPastel, you can fix these. I kind of did it wrong, so mine's a little lumpy, but it still is perfectly good, just like any other PanPastel. You can use it regular. It may have been broken, but it's fixed now. All you need, I think, is a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Oh, and I never did tell you the color name. This is turquoise, and this is also a pure pigment. And then lastly, we've got this dark gray color. This is Payne's Gray, and since it says 0.3 over here at the end, that means it is Payne's Gray mixed with black, also known as a shade. Then they also have extra dark, which is mixed with even more black, so it is a lot darker. I don't have one of those on hand, but I just thought I would tell you guys. So the last thing we're going to talk about are these tools over here. So they are called Sofft tools. Here is the packaging I got it out of. And they are sponges that were specifically made for PanPastel. So in the starter kit that they sent, you get a thing that looks like a palette knife. You get some covers for this palette knife so you can blend with this. Then you get a bar that is just nice and spongy. You get a larger one. This one's kind of oval, but it's a little offset. And you can use stuff like makeup sponges and stuff, but I would recommend these because they actually, go with the PanPastels. They were made for them. So if you're interested in purchasing any kind of PanPastels, I will leave a link down in the description below to where you can do so, and I'll also leave a link to the PanPastel company because they were super generous and they made this review possible. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into an illustration, and I'm going to talk to you further about the things I like, things I don't like if there are any, and just talk to you about the company in general. So let's go over and do that. So I have to say that I occasionally do use pastels, and one of the things that I think I like the most about PanPastels is the fact that you don't have to hold a stick. Sometimes I kind of freak out when my hands feel chalky, so it's really nice that I don't have to hold a stick. I can just grab a sponge and pick up some color in a PanPastel. So PanPastels are professional quality artist pastels in a unique cake-like pan, and they can be mixed, layered, and applied dry, just kind of like paint. They're ideal for realistic effects. They adhere to most surfaces and can be removed easily. You can erase them. I didn't show that in the video because I didn't need to erase, but you can erase with them. They have a low dust, but I do find that they do still have dust, so it's just like any other pastel. There is no drying or prep time. and they are highly pigmented. It's almost like using pure pigment. Not quite, but it's pretty close. Currently, they have 92 colors. They have colors that are the pure pigments, which means they're not added with any other kind of color. Then they have tints, which are mixed with white, shades are mixed with black, and then they have extra dark, which are mixed with a little bit more black. They also have metallic, pearlescent, and mediums. Basically, they have a blender medium, which is just kind of like a clear PanPastel, so you can blend with it. They also have pearlescent mediums to make any PanPastel shiny, which I think is really cool. And they also make the Sofft tools. You saw that earlier in the video. Those are specifically made for PanPastel. They also have pallets. I will put a picture on the screen, but they do have pallets, and when you buy them, they don't come with any colors. They just show them in the palette, but I think it's really cool, and it's easy for, you know, traveling if you want to travel, or just kind of having them handy while you're painting with these pastels. You get 40% more than average pastel stick, so basically think about any pastel stick that you may use, and you get about 40% more because these are really large. They're layerable, but I ended up adding a lot of layers, and you'll see a little bit later, but I tried to add another layer and it wouldn't take, so I took some Workable Fixative, I sprayed it, I let it completely dry until it was supposed to be like an hour before you're supposed to work, and then I could continue working. Basically what Workable Fixative is it just kind of sets your bottom layer, and then you can continue to color over it with whatever you're using. So I find it really handy. So if you get PanPastels and you plan on doing a lot of layers, definitely invest in some Workable Fixative. One thing I found kind of irritating about these Sofft sponges is that they did seem to tear, and I had a hard time getting it onto the palette knife. Now, I think it just kind of depends on the paper as to whether it will tear or not, and plus my paper towel was a little rough, so that might have been it as well. But just keep an eye on it. They still work just fine, but just keep an eye on that. And plus, in the starter kit, you do get a lot of sponges, and the only one I had rip was the one that went on the little palette knife, so yeah. I just love the way these mix. Seriously, they're super nice. I wasn't going to use the yellow at first, but then I decided to create an earth, so I put some yellow onto that blue, and it just made a really pretty green, and I'm really happy with the way these mix. And it also, in the galaxy background, there's purples and reds and blues because the red and the blue mixed, and it just made a really pretty color. I really like how they interact, and I think that these are really great. If you are like me and you don't like pastels in your hands, or you just want a different kind of experience with pastels, I would definitely give these a try. They're really fun to just kind of practice with. And I think you can actually buy like a 2-set practice PanPastel kit set. And I think it's really cool. So actually I am using, or I'm about to use, some acrylic paint on this so I can make some stars with a toothbrush. And I do add some Uniball Signo white gel pen just to add some highlights onto the moon and the earth. But yeah, that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to thumbs it up. Don't forget to check the links in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to join our cute little squid pod if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, toodaloo!